KSL in the chat. If you want to support this tournament series, if you want to support the Korean StarCraft League and the Korean scene, you can do so via Patreon. There is a Patreon set up for the KSL organized by both Chicken Man and Dave Tester. And again, this event is funded by the community for the community. So yeah, thank you so much for all the patrons and the people that do support and fund the KSL. Again, if you want to do so, the link is in the chat. As we get into this grand finals, also replay packs are available to patrons as well. So if you're interested in KSL replays, they got you covered with the Patreon. As we get into this, and if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions are open in the chat. Place your bets on who you think is going to be this week's champion. Will it be our Zerg or our Protoss? Up to you to decide. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Z, gaming the best, or one of the best Zergs in Korea. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss, the best Protoss in South Korea, one of the best Protoss in the world. It is herO. Also on DKZ, also on CranKy Z Gaming, as this is a team kill. I always feel awkward now for the past couple of weeks. Like, I used to always, like, my brain goes, like, into auto mode. Like I used to automatically, like, present Dark as the best Zerg player in Korea. But based off the last GSL, like, I don't know if I can, like, confidently say that, or I don't know how comfortable I am saying that. Personally, I still think that Dark is a more well-rounded player than Solar, but I mean, clearly in league formats and in our most recent GSL, Solar was able to look damn good. So, you know, a contentious spot for #1 in Korea. Contentious between the two of them. Until then, though, we are getting into the swing of things, and do have a hatch gas pool opener here from Dark. Likewise, herO going for a gate expand into a Cybercore, so economic opener from herO. Likewise, standard opener from Dark. Everything is looking normal for now, which is important to point out. Dark, he's known for going for a pool first, or hatch blocks, or proxy hatch, or, you know, even gas first openers to rush into roaches. Dark is a very aggressive player in this matchup, so very important that herO scouts and confirms that it's a standard opener. Very important. As we're easing our way into this, we do have the second pylon thrown down out on the map, or out in the main base, so this looks like a Stargate opener. We mentioned before that if the pylon is thrown down closer to the mineral line, it is most likely going to be a Twilight Council instead, just because it's more hidden and more further back. This one, a little more further out towards the center of the map, so the rush distance by air is that much shorter, means that the Oracle gets across the map that much faster. Only by a couple of seconds, but every second in StarCraft counts. So there's that Stargate on the way. Now, this doesn't have to be Oracle. This could be a Void Ray opener as well. herO has been very fond of Void Rays to hunt down Overlords, to deny vision, deny scouting, and to keep Zerg players in the dark. So we'll see what he goes for. For now, Dark taking his third base, droning up, getting his link speed, has pulled out of gas, so we're not going into any kind of fast lair or fast evo chamber. Just link speed for the time being. And we have a unit of choice. It's going to be the Oracle. Oracle first out of herO. Stalker's on the way as well, so it looks like herO wants to try to shut down this Overlord one way or another. He's going to be chasing it down. Meanwhile, the Adept is getting across the map, looking for some scout information. Looking to get a read on what's going on. So far, the Lings, they do keep up, they do force a shade. And with the arrival of this Oracle, this Overlord should fall. That should. As the Overlord is on hold position, should eventually go down. Behind this, we have a second Oracle on the way. So we're doubling down on Oracle production, which means third base. Means we're establishing our third, taking the triangular third position here. Can be pretty well fortified, and the Oracles can now move out. As they move out, Dark, he has one queen and a spore in the main. He has two queens here at the natural, and his third base is exposed, but there's nothing to kill the third. So Dark has a pretty solid setup. Meanwhile, across the map, the Lings do go for a counterattack, but both Adepts have been kept safe, and they have been kept alive. We mentioned before, remember, in the previous series, Cyan, he lost his first couple of adepts, and that snowballed into a delayed third base. Here, herO, he is a lot more conservative with his first 2 adepts, keeps them alive, which keeps his third base safe and sound. So his third is on time. Ooh, that is a fast... Okay, we're just rushing into a lair here. This was around a 4-minute 30 lair timing. This should just be a lair for roaches. Yeah, there we go. Roach horns on the way. This should just be for roach speed. Shouldn't be for anything too crazy as gases are being taken. Oracles, they dive into the third base. 4 drones go down. And both Oracles survive. So far, a good amount of damage done here from herO. And Dark is going for a roach heavy composition. Meanwhile, hero's transitioning into +1 and blink. Standard transition +1 and blink. We have a bit of a gateway explosion. Oh my god. Quite a number of gateways on the way. We're getting up to 8 gates already. A massive gateway explosion that is typically not seen. Not this early on. So we're getting up to 8 gates. Still no robo. Like, usually you delay additional gateways for a faster robo to get into a war prism, to get into observers, more importantly, to get some scanning information. Maybe even immortal production. Adepts, they do get across enough. They do get a couple of worker kills. 3. 4 drones go down. And the oracles aren't done. They get into the natural. Oh! They get another drone, but it looks like 1 oracle gets picked off. Very nice snipe there from Dark. But herO should be setting up a proxy gateway. And yep, there we go. Proxy gateway's on the way. This is a 3-base all-in. No robo, no tech, no Templar archives, no gases at the third base either. 3-base, 8-gate all-in. Did I say 8 gates? 9 gateways. 9 gateways here with this proxy from herO. He is looking to push out, and he's not going to stop. He's not going to slow down. Just pure blink stalkers looking to knock down the third base of Dark. And Dark is unaware. He's droning. He's droned up to 3-base saturation, not bad. 65 workers. Not a bad worker count. 4th base is on the way. But Dark, the problem is that he doesn't know that the army's coming. And here it is. We're hitting with +1. +1 finishing up just in time. Dark going for an infestation pit, as well as that macro hatch. We'll see if Dark can hold on. Again, we have +2 on the way behind this. We are taking a 4th nexus. Oh, right behind the army, actually. Which means we could set up a shield battery with an overcharge. Oh my god. This setup is brutal. But again, it's Swarm Toss. Swarm Toss here from herO. Still no Robo, still no Templar Archive, still no Robotic Spay. Just pure gateway composition. Not even charge. But herO, he's testing the waters. He sees the army. Looks like he recognizes that he can't kill his opponent. Stasis Trap's going to be going up. Big Stasis Trap. But again, upon recognizing the size of the army from Dark, that's why we have the 4th base on the way. Dark collapsing on these Stalkers. Getting 1, getting 2. Almost getting a 3rd. Oh, is Dark overextending though? He has to be careful. Files down another Stalker. Bit of miscontrol there from herO. Behind this Dark, he's getting into that hive. He's getting his 4th base up and running. His creep is lacking here is what I will say, but should be working on that soon. Doubling down on additional oracles. Now we're kind of taking up. I'm surprised we don't have charge. I'm very surprised we don't have charge yet. There it is. Charge now on the way, but it feels very late. And here we go. Dark breaking free from his contain. Getting on top of the 4th base. A lot of these roaches are wasting their DPS on this gateway, so a lot of lings do go down. Oof. Yeah, as herO is chasing this down. Dark did overextend. He lost a lot of lings. Now his roaches and ravagers are exposed. And herO, he is pulling this off. And roaches are being focused down. Dark in a lot of trouble. Like, chasing that army towards the 4th base, that was not the call to make. Here come reinforcements. herO just snowballing out of control here with a mass gateway army. Does avoid a lot of those biles. Zealots have arrived. Slow lots even. We don't even need charge. Slow lots are all we need. As we had to pull the boys. 13 drones go down. Dark taking a massive blow to his economy. herO that much more ahead. Gonna be kiting back, avoiding those biles before pushing forward. +1 armor kicking in. Charge as well. And yeah, GG gets called. Dark just cannot keep up. Not with the swarm toss style of herO, and herO will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Initially, Dark did well. Initially, Dark did do quite well, actually keeping up and not being too greedy. Remember, he joined up to 65, so 3 base saturation with the 4th base. He had the tools that he needed to hold against the first push. And remember, when herO saw that first army of Dark, he backed off and he took a 4th. Like, he was, in a way, quote-unquote transitioning. Like, he wasn't really shifting up his army, but he was just working on a better economy. And, yeah, he respected it. Dark, meanwhile, did overextend. He did chase off of creep, lost all of his lings, lost a lot of roaches in the process as well. And with that, herO was able to take advantage of Dark. Even though Dark was taking up towards an infestation pit, towards Hive Tech, I was a little bit too far away, a little bit too far ahead there. When here in the now, herO was knocking down his front door. And with that, we have a lead. We have a lead for herO. And we'll see if he can extend that lead. We'll see if Dark can fight back and force the ace match. Sorry, it's just closing the door. Well, it's just closing the door, but here we go. We're getting into game number 2. And again, it's a best of 5. Plenty of games are ahead of us. Plenty of games available. We'll see where this takes us. Personally, I want at least a game 4. Ideally, an ace match. I want this to go the distance. I want this to go all the way. We'll see if we can get there. Catching up with the chat, and here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of herO, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing KranKy Gaming down in this series, looking to fight back, looking to tie it up. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss, also representing KranKy Gaming. It is herO, leading the series 1-0. But it's still best of 5, still plenty of games to be had. Is a lead, but not insurmountable, as Dark is going to be going for a hatch first here on the low ground, getting his natural up and running. Do love to see it. And herO likewise, most likely going to be going for a standard opener as well. Again, herO is one of the larger maps, so we should be seeing a Stargate opener here from herO. I did mention before that we have been seeing a lot of aggression from herO recently, like Twilight Council based aggression with Glaive Adepts, but I don't know if this is the best map for that sort of thing, as it is a hatch gas pool. And everything looking normal from the side of Dark. We'll keep an eye on the positioning of the second pylon to try to get a read on what herO wants to do and where he wants to take us. Again, herO is in the driver's seat. Eyes are on the Protoss, as he's being as annoying as possible, tasing away at those drones, trying to force some inefficient mining as well. Shouldn't achieve too much here, just again being an annoyance, being a nuisance, hoping to get on the nerves of his opponent, win the mental game, if you will. Make him pay extra for that kind of action. Oh no. Don't crush the grapes. They're fragile. As the pylon is thrown down here in between the gases, we do have a Stargate opener once again. A little bit closer to the base this time. I'm curious if we intend to go for a Void Ray first instead. Or we could just go for an Oracle. I mean, you know, either or can work very well here. herO's in position. He delays the third base, forces the triangular third to be taken instead. Oh, at least pulling back that drone. So this does delay the third base of Dark, does force it to be in a more compromised position. It is a little bit easier to like bounce between all 3 of these bases with the Oracles. And it is in fact going to be that Void Ray first. As I mentioned before, like this Stargate is a little bit closer here to the base of herO, so A Void Ray does make a lot more sense than an Oracle. Is going to be moving out, is going to be hunting down these Overlords. And he's going to be keeping Dark in the dark. Now, this could be to hide tech or to just make it look like we're hiding tech. Like, that's the scary thing about a Void Ray, is that it doesn't mean that the Protoss is hiding something. They could be hiding nothing. It's just that you don't know. You don't know the difference because the Overlords are going down. And we can see it's going to be a Void Ray into an Oracle, which should lead into a third Nexus. So an economic opener. Now, after the third Nexus, we'll see if we throw down a Twilight Council without or with a Forge. Again, thanks to this Void Ray, Dark is not going to be able to, or he's going to have a hard time finding the difference, so let's go! It's not a Twilight Council, it's not a Forge, it is going to be a Fleet Beacon. The power of a Void Ray opener. Lings are going to try to threaten that wall. Third base is delayed. Void Ray moves out, does catch a second Overlord. And even get some damage done here on the third. There's the second Stargate. herO, he's rushing into either Carriers or Tempest. Most likely Tempest, but either or do work. Likewise, the Oracle picks off 3 Creep Tumors. Slowing down the creep here of Dark, making it that much more difficult to rotate between the bases. Void Ray rotates into the main, only losing shields. Doesn't get much done though. Again, we're keeping Dark busy. Meanwhile, there we go. We have Tectonic Destabilizers on the way. That is the bonus damage to buildings for Tempest. To structures, technically. Buildings, same thing. Queen gets... the Queen overextends. It gets shut down. And again, herO rushing into those Tempests, and Dark has no idea. 1 dead Queen, by the way. That does not bode well. We need every single Queen possible. We need as much anti-air as possible. Losing 1 Queen may seem insignificant, but that could be a transfuse. That could be the difference between a defense and a death. Third base now on the way. Dark, he's going Ling Hydra. Oof. I mean, it's not bad. So Ling Hydra, this is designed to shut down Blink Stalkers. So he's assuming that his opponent is going into Blink Stalker play. Hydras at least give you some anti-air against Tempest. They're not ideal, but it's better than nothing. And here we go. The Tempests have been revealed. He knows. He now knows for certain Tempests have hit the field. herO is pushing out, and Dark is getting ready. Immediately, 3 Queens. Queen production has commenced. How many Queens do we have? 5. Ooh. 5 Queens. Not ideal. Bearing in mind that these Tempests are going to be hitting with that upgrade. At the same time, Lings go for a counterattack. The wall is a wall. Probes are going down. Economic damage is being done. The Tempests, they do get across the map, but Hydras are on the way. Thankfully, again, Dark was going Ling Hydra, so he already has anti-air in production. 1 Queen goes down. Can Dark catch this army? Can he try to sneak around from behind? He's looking to. If he can lure these Tempests further onto creep, we can set up a surround. The Tempests, they get the base down to half HP. Queen's taking a lot of damage. The Hydras are massing. And so far, so good. Another Queen falls. Hydras, have they been revealed? They have! Hydras have been spotted. herO knows. And herO has to be very careful as a result. Hydras coming in from behind. Again, these Tempests, they're quite fragile. There's only 4 of them. There we go. We're zoning them away. Getting quite a bit of hull damage. Here we go. We're coming from behind. We get 1. The Oracle and 1 Tempest goes down. We're going for a second Tempest as well. It looks like we should barely be able to get it. We barely don't. It's so close. It's so low. We can dive. He's diving. He wants it. He gets it. 2 Tempests. Big loss here for herO. Surround. Very impressive from Dark. Turning water into wine. Now behind this, ground toss. Behind this, we only made 4 Tempests, and we're going straight into a ground toss transition instead. Blink, +1, Bay, Immortals, soon to be Colossus. herO just shifting gears entirely. Again, hoping to force an overreaction. He's forcing out a lot of Hydras. Splash damage is going to be ideal, but we don't have any splash damage yet. That's the concerning thing. Obviously, herO eventually is going to have like Colossus and Storm and Disruptors, but until then, Dark is going to have a stronger army. There's a window. There's a window available where Dark can try to flex this army, catch the Stalkers, catch herO, and snowball out of control. But so far, these Tempests have been kept alive. We're rotating around. We do force a cancel on the 5th base. Hydra's going to be trying to keep up. At the same time, we do leave a couple of Hydras on the left-hand side, but here comes the main army, and that's not a lot of Hydras. Force another cancel on that 5th, a second cancel. Meanwhile, the Stalker army does push forward. And we do focus down one of the Hydras. And we want another. There we go. Lings have to rotate around. The Tempests, they barely do survive. And hero's going to back off. He backs off only enough to wait for reinforcements. Here we go. The Prism has arrived. Blink is done. +1 as well. +2 on the way for herO. He is pushing. He is being forced back to that War Prism, though. The War Prism is exposed. The Immortal. Immortal is barely saved. And as we dance with the Hydra army, herO, he's buying time for Colossus. The first Colossus has arrived. Second Colossi on the way. Colossi good against all things light, against all things Ling, Bailing, Hydra. Dark a bit out of position, though. Queen goes down. Dark trying to set up a surround. Ooh, and where exactly are the Colossi? They're left idle. The Stalkers, they're left on their own, and a lot of Stalkers are getting picked off. Oof. A pretty big loss here for herO. And again, the Colossus could help so much here as more Stalkers go down. That was 7 Stalkers. For 55 Lings, but again, Stalkers at his gas. But here we go, we do collapse on these Lurkers, sorry, on these Hydras. They're exposed! We dive on the Hydras, and Dark, he's going to lose so much here. The Roaches push forward, they do close the gap, they close the distance on that Colossus. But the Hydras, for the most part, they have all gone down. An expensive loss here for the Zerg. Trying to push on forward. Good juggling here from herO. Colossi, they're tanking some damage, and yeah, we can just keep this ball rolling. Dark does not have enough. That was an overextension. He chased those Stalkers far too out. And now herO, he's pushing once again. He is breaking this position. The Tempest is still alive as well. Oh, one Hydra kills a Tempest. But only Hydras against Colossus. Nah, this is not going to work out. The army is melting. Dark, he cannot keep up with this. GG gets called, and herO will take game number 2, taking a solid lead in this series. GG. GG, well played. herO, 1 game away, una más, 1 game away from becoming this week's KSL champion. And again, Dark was kind of taken for a bit of a ride there. Like, Dark initially getting ready for the Tempest, or I mean, he didn't know about the Tempest until they were revealed. Wasn't aware about the ground toss transition. Thankfully, he had Ling Hydra, which wasn't too bad against the Stalkers. But Dark also wasn't aware of the Colossus. If he was aware of the Robo and eventual Colossus on the way, we would have been seeing an Infestation Pit, we would have been seeing a Hive, and eventually Vipers. Hydra Lurker Viper would have been the composition for Dark. He had no idea. He assumed that he was up against a Gateway composition. That's why he stayed on Ling Hydra. Ling Hydra is ideal against Blink Stalkers. So, I mean, he just assumed that that's what we were working with. Meanwhile, herO, he teched up even further, went for the Colossus, and that was the nail in the coffin. That completely blindsided Dark. He wasn't ready for it. Was caught off guard, and with that, herO needs one more win to close it out. Oh boy. The pressure is on Dark. The pressure is on, and can he bring it back? Can he bring it back? Meanwhile, it looks like the bracket was updated with the Cyan Oliveira score. Did go to the ace match as well. Wasn't a 2-0, which I didn't think it was, but I mean, there was always a possibility. Now we are getting into our next game. Into game number 3. Potentially the final game of the series. I hope not. I hope we go the distance. I hope that this goes to the ace match. But it's not on me. It's on Dark to bring it all back. Well, it's on Dark to try to keep up with the nonsense that herO throws out. The chaotic nature of herO. Again, very unpredictable, you know? Game 1, going into essentially a 3-base all-in with Mass-Bling Stalker. You're in Game 2, going into Sky Toss, and now we find ourselves in Game 3. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of our Kione, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing KyZ Gaming. Needs to fight back here and now. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss leading the series 2-0, 1 game away from becoming this week's champion. Also representing KyZ Gaming, it is herO. They are teammates. They are some of the best players in their region, in all of Korea. But here in the finals of KSL, herO, he is running away with it. Oh, again. Dark. Dark, he wants the expansion. It's going to be delayed, but he does get the natural. Did force some lost mining time. Is late, but he does get his natural up and running. So Dark, very much so adamant, very afraid of a Twilight Council. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. Again, if Dark was forced to expand elsewhere, that would create an opening here for herO to go for a Twilight Council opener into Glaive Adepts. And we have seen herO pull Dark apart with Glaive Adepts before. So again, very important that Dark does take this natural base, especially if he's afraid of that. So he is getting into a standard setup. Delayed expansion, but standard setup from nonetheless. Hatch, gas pool. Oh. Likewise, herO going for a standard opener as well. Ooh, the pylon does get thrown down. Once again, in line here with the mineral line. So, speaking of Twilight Council openers, that could be what herO goes for. Could be. Remember earlier, we saw a similar positioning with the pylon, and it was for a Void Ray opener instead. So that is also a big possibility. As we're getting into this, we do have Warp Gate delayed. For good reason. Warp Gate is going to be delayed, so this should be leading into a Stargate. There we go. Stargate is on the way. Now, Dark, he's fully aware that Warp Gate isn't being researched, so that is a big tell that it's going to be a Stargate-based opener. Whether it's Oracle or Void Ray, yet to be determined. I'm imagining this is going to be a Void Ray first, but we'll see. We'll see. As we have the third base being taken. Third base is on the way. They're threading a shade towards the main, just trying to get a read on the saturation, on the drone count, on the gas count. Dark is making a decent chunk of lings. Second Adept does arrive. And we are going for an Oracle first. Okay. We have a standard opener. Should be Oracle into a third base, into a second Oracle, maybe even up to a third Oracle as well. Dark, he's committing for a scout. He's diving into the main base, and he will get eyes on the Stargate and the first units as well. Dark, he knows. Or he's soon to know. Behind this, Dark, he's just going to be droning, saturating his bases. Dark, I believe, didn't see the Oracle. He goes in and he sees the lack of any buildings before pulling out. Oh, interesting. That is a fast Evo chamber. This should be for +1 melee. Okay. So Dark shifting gears, going for what looks to be a more Lingbane-based composition. Assuming it's +1 melee. Oracle dips in, gets a drone. Up. Oh, gets a second worker as well, as the Spore wasn't done. And 2 workers isn't bad, but the Oracle took a lot of damage. It's very low at this point. It's going to be very difficult to really achieve too much more. There it is, +1 melee is on the way. So again, this should be for a much more Lingbane heavy composition. Could be Lingbane into Hydras even. Or just Lingbane Roach Ravager. As the Oracles, they rotate around. They threaten the main base, but once again, there is a Queen in position. We don't find a way in. But the Adepts, they have arrived. 5 Adepts going to be threatening these bases. They are vanilla Adepts, and all they do get surrounded. 1 Adept does go down. But we commit to the shade. We get into the main base. Lings, they arrive just in time as well. And Dark will not lose his economy. Not like this. Likewise, the Oracles, they dive in as well. They threaten the main, but Queens, they do turn back in time. Oh, we're up to 3 Oracles, though. Oh, no! Oh, it looks like one of the Oracles is going to go down. A big overextension from herO. Not really worth it. But the Adepts make it into the mineral line once again, and they get damage done. Oh my god. Another 2 drones go down. Can we get a 3rd? Oh, we barely can get a 3rd drone as well. Meanwhile, I mentioned earlier, because of +1 melee, there it is. Baneling Nest is on the way, so it is going to be, again, a very Lingbane-centric composition here from Dark. Can get into Hydras a little more easier. The Oracles, they return. They got another 3 drones. 4. Ay. That is 13 dead workers in total, and we also get eyes on the 4th base. At the same time, Lings, they do go for a big counterattack, but the wall is a wall. We're in position, and herO holds. Meanwhile, his transition is upon us. Twilight Council and a Forge. It's going to be +1 on Blink. That's +1 alongside Blink Stalkers. We'll keep an eye on the gateway counts. Again, we should, if we do like go for a big gateway explosion into 8 gates again, like we saw previously in this series, it's going to lead into an all-in. But I'm not too fond of all-ins on Alkyone. There it is. 4th base is on the way. We're getting into a macro game. We're getting into the mid game. Let's go. Like an actual mid game this time, which we haven't really experienced. We've been seeing a lot of aggression, a lot of like wild builds and twists and turns so far in this series. But this is looking to be the much more standard build, the standard game here of the series so far. Again, it makes sense. Alkyone does lead into a lot of mid and even late game scenarios. A very defensive map, very difficult to break a player at their 3rd or even their 4th base location. And we'll see if Dark tries, because Dark is making more Lings. He has a Hydra Den on the way, getting his 4th base and a macro hatch at the same time, and he is not droning. Uh-oh. Dark is not making workers. He's got Baneling speed on the way. We got Hydra range. There we go. We have 6 drones now in production. He invested a lot. He invested a lot into these Lings, and that did delay his economy. That's why herO actually has a worker lead. These Lings, they haven't been worth it. Blink is done. The Stalkers blink away, and again, a big loss there for Dark. We'll see if he can make it work it though, because here we go. Banelings are on the way. We have 4 Banelings getting ready to waddle into that 3rd base. Lings, they distract at the 4th. We're going in. Up. herO. He's not paying attention. Not paying attention. Big connections. 11 probes go down. And suddenly investing into all those things was worth it, but I spoke too soon. We do get some more drone kills across the map. That's 4 dead workers and lost mining time at the 4th base. I still like Dark's position a little bit more now, but that was quite a bit of damage. Behind this, Lingbane Hydra. Infestation Bit's on the way, which means Dark, he's thinking about Hive, he's thinking about Vipers, he's also thinking about Lunkers. But before we can think about Lunkers, herO is here. He has arrived, he's blinking over the wall. Gonna be threading the gold. Yeah, and he should be forcing a cancel. Base is gonna be cancelled, then Hydra does rock up. Dark's still in 4 bases. Even base count with herO. herO, he's recouping his probe losses. And he's working towards a robotic spade. So it does feel like Dark is one step ahead. What I mean by that, we already have the Hive. The Hive is in production, which means we're going to gain access to Vipers, and that is going to be our answer to Disruptors and Colossus, which is what's on the horizon. herO is working on a 2nd Robo and a Bay. Again, should be for a Robo-based, like, kind of backbone to the army of herO, but Dark should be ready for it. Now, what we are lacking is a Lurker Den. We haven't seen a Lurker Den yet. Dark just sticking with the mobile army instead, with Lingbane Hydra. Lingbane Hydra just still on the way. Dark about to max out. He is pushing. Catches the Stalker. herO diversifying his splash damage. He's going Colossus into Storm. Temple Archives is on the way. Archons and Storm would be amazing against this army from Dark. Like, again, Dark is all things light here. It's Ling, Bane, Hydra. It's such a fragile army. A lot of DPS, but it's a bit of a glass cannon. But the Temple Archives isn't done. Storm isn't done, which means there's a window. There's a window where Dark can make this army work. They're the Vipers. Yeah. herO is making 2 Colossi at a time, so does Dark have enough abductions available here to shut down those Colossi? Likewise, can he avoid those stasis traps? As the Prism does threaten that 4th base. Zealot run by gets in, we kill a Queen. Not too bad. Queen goes down, Lings are retreating back home here to shut down these Zealots. Oh. As the Zealot does wreak havoc in the main base, it gets cleaned up at the same time. A big Doom drop into the main, and herO, he is not in position. He's not ready for this. He doesn't have a recall at the Nexus. Uh-oh. And here comes a Doom drop. Meanwhile, herO, he's just getting ready for a frontal assault. Stalkers are being forced back. And again, do we have any warp-ins? As the Lings, they do push on forward, drop into the main base. You do have a warp-in of a couple of Stalkers. Sorry, a couple of Zealots even. But the Lings are burrowed. Cannons, shield batteries are on the way. Which will reveal these Lings. herO does have to be careful. Oh, Lurker Den now on the way. It feels like this Lurker Den is late. Feels like a late Lurker Den, which means late Lurker upgrades. Here we go, Dark pushing forward with all these Banes at the same time. He does not borrow the Lings. He does have 2 armies. But herO only has to defend 1 location. Oh, Stasis Trap does get baited out. Yeah, Dark being forced back. herO trading very nicely here. And again, this Lurker Den is late. Like, we needed this Lurker Den a minute ago. Without it, herO is maxed and he's getting ready to move out. herO, he's getting ready for his push. And this is a terrifying push. How many High Templar do we have? We have 6 High Templar. Some of which are in that War Prism. And can we deal with this death ball of an army? Oh, the feedbacks! No abductions! The Vipers, they get shut down. Big storms on the army. Oh, massive storms even! Ling Bane trying to close the distance, but the Colossus stands strong. And herO, he's snowballing out of control. Again, the Ling Bane army gets annihilated. The Vipers, they're not ready for this. And herO, he can keep on pushing. Dark in a lot of trouble. He has 5 Lurkers on the way. They would have helped earlier. We dive on the Vipers. The Vipers are being focused now, one after the other. Lings, they try to close the gap. The Lurkers, they have arrived. Do we have detection? The Lurkers, they hold. The Lurkers, they do hold on. Dark survives. Again, if it wasn't for these Lurkers, herO could have kept pushing. 100% he could have kept pushing, could have broken this, and probably would have killed Dark. Lurkers, they arrive just in time. Meanwhile, herO going for a split push, pushing towards the natural base, and also going for his Zealot run by here at the gold. He's going for gold. The Colossus taking some hits. Oh, we do pull back in time. Lurkers are in position. The Zealots are being surrounded, but they get 17 drone kills. Oh my god. And we get behind the mineral line. We're camping the tech. We're getting on top of the Lurker Den. Oh, the Colossus do overextend, but the Zealots, they bust into another mineral line. Being cleaned up. The Lurker Den goes down. What you see is what you get. We have 7 Lurkers, and that is all we have. 7 Lurkers with only Lurker range. No adaptive talons. These Stalkers are eventually going to be cleaned up, but herO, he's running away with this. He has a gold base. He has a wall of cannons, shield batteries, 5th base on the way. Sorry, 6th base on the way, a little bit off center, and Skytoss. 2 fleet beacons, a fleet beacon, 2 stargates. Skytoss is upon us. herO, he is just 1 step ahead. Here come the Lurkers though. They try to get on top of the army. One Colossus goes down, but it's just too much. GG gets called. herO, he snowballs out of control. Doesn't even need the Sky Toss. Doesn't even need the 6th base. And herO will be this week's KSL champion. GG. GG, well played. herO, oh my god. I mean, there was a lot that was happening in that game. Overall, herO just taking a much more defensive stance and defensive outlook on that game, just turtling up and defending, only harassing with Stalkers and building up his Colossus and eventually Storm count as well. Meanwhile, Dark was late to tech. He was late to tech. He was going Lingbane Hydra Viper, which was okay, but remember, the Lurker Den was late. The Lurker Den was very late. It looked like Dark didn't quite piece together what herO was doing in time. By the time he did, again, because the Lurker Den was late, it meant the Lurker upgrades were late, and it meant that Lurkers themselves were not out in time. The Lurkers, they actually allowed herO to live. They allowed him to survive against the first push, but he lost so much in the process already. He'd already taken so many losses. It was too late. It was too late. GG, well played. With that, herO is this week's Korean StarCraft League champion, taking down Dark 3-0. Very impressive performance here. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the only player to take a game off of herO tonight was Classic. I think Classic, in that PvP in the semifinals, which we did cover, which was very intense and could have gone either way, to be honest. Yeah, Classic was the only one to make herO bleed. So yeah, pretty strong performance here by herO. Again, we spoke about this before. To me, no surprise that herO won here, just because herO has been looking terrifying in PvZ. I mentioned before, but over the past 2 weeks, like, herO, he's just been knocking over Korean Zergs over and over again. Dark, Solar, DRG, Shin, like, herO has been, yeah, on a bit of a win streak here against Zerg players, at least the Korean Zergs. And he's been looking terrifying. So yeah, kind of a well-won series here from herO. My condolences to Dark, but he does get 2nd place, which is, you know, not too shabby at all. Coming in 2nd here, getting a decent paycheck as well. And with that is going to be our conclusion of this week's KSL. A lot of really good matches, a lot of fun series. You know, even to kick things off, Ashbringer versus Damaga was a lot of fun, leading into herO, leading into the PvP, which was, again, very chaotic, and the reason why I love PvP as a mirror matchup, especially Korean PvP, just very chaotic, just non-stop all-ins, basically. And here in the finals as well, herO really just showcasing his wide breadth of play. Bearing in mind that herO, every game he did something different. Game 1, went for a Swarm Toss style, went for a 3-base all-in, just limited gases, just pure gateway units in Game 1. Game 2, he rushed into Sky Toss, rushed into Tempest, then going for a ground switch into Stalkers and Colossus. And here in Game 3, going for a much more tech-heavy Turtle style, where he, like, really herO was, outside of course, harassing with Oracles and Adepts, he was just building up his defenses back at home, fortifying himself on 4 bases, which is how you should be playing out Alkyone. It does kind of favor that playstyle before moving out with a death ball of an army. GG, well played. And with that, that does wrap up our first broadcast of the day, our first of many. So we just wrapped up with KSL. If you enjoyed the broadcast, if you want some more CranKy Duckling action, we're going to be live in 2 hours. 2 hours. Enough time for me to get some food and to have a shower and get ready for a long night of casting. In 2 hours, we're going to be live with Grand Platypus Open, with GPO. That is our regional tournament, our region locked event for the Asia region. Asia and Oceania. So it's actually very similar to KSL. KSL, they have a Patreon to support the Korean scene. We have a Patreon to support the American and the Asian scene, basically. We do our part to try to support some of these smaller regions like Latin America, North America, Southeast Asia, Oceania. You can see our goal there. Exclamation mark Patreon in the chat if you do wish to support us. All the money that we make on our channel, like from subscriptions and donations, it all goes towards the Patreon, or towards our tournaments, maybe a better way to put it. And again, Grand Platypus Open is later on in 2 hours. Otherwise, if you want to support the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, exclamation mark KSL in the chat. We got plenty of commands. And if you want to learn how to play like herO, like Classic, Dimaga, Dark, Oliveira, replay packs are available for KSL over on Patreon. So they got you covered. They got you covered. Likewise, again, we also give out replay packs from all of our other events, so like Kung Fu Cup and GPO, Sparkling Tuna Cup, OSC King of the Hill. Again, we send out replays as well to our own subscribers and to our own patrons alongside them. So again, plenty of stuff out there if you're interested in supporting the StarCraft scene. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Is GoGoJoey playing in Grand Platypus Open? It's on GoGoJoey. If he shows up, then yes. Yeah, he usually does, but sometimes he's unavailable, so if he's available, he should be there. That's in GPO, we typically feature players like Nice, GoGoJoey, Mia Maika, Honmono, to name a few of our regional players. So look forward to it. Again, 2 hours time. Meanwhile, if you're gonna go have a nap, and if you're gonna get some sleep, and if you happen to wake up in how many hours? In 6 hours time. So if you go to bed now, if you wake up in 6 hours, we're also gonna be live, because after GPO, we have World Team League. World Team League is upon us, and we're gonna be featuring Team Liquid versus DragonKy Gaming, which means you're gonna see Dark and herO, instead of fighting against each other, they're gonna be working together, going up against Team Liquid, which is Clem, Cure, a Laser, and many others, Mana as well. So yeah, we do have Team Liquid versus DragonKy Gaming tonight, alongside Onside versus Sidestorm Gaming. So a lot of really good matches, again in 6 hours time. So if you're going to bed, we'll see you when you wake up. we'll see you. I mean, even if you go to bed now, in 8 hours, we're probably still going to be casting WTL. It's like a 4-hour event. But if you wake up in 8 hours, you're going to miss out on DragonKy Gaming. Oh no. So set your alarms. Set your alarms. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it. Shout out to all the players, or sorry, all the people that did win out on those predictions as well. And yeah, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Not too sure who, but we'll be raiding someone. And we'll be back in 2 hours with some more StarCraft. So again, our weekends are usually really busy. We're casting 3 events tonight, and I think we're casting 2 tomorrow, not 3. Thankfully not 3 tomorrow, only 2 tomorrow. So again, we're always live here on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. That's our busiest days. So we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend, and take care. Hasta luego. Bye. Hasta luego.